was a calm morning in Chelmsford, England, when neighbors heard shouting coming from Jack Seppel's apartment. The noise stopped as quickly as it started, leaving an unsettling silence behind. Hours later, police arrived and found something that shocked even the most experienced officers. Inside was 19-year-old Ashley Wadsworth, a Canadian who had traveled across the world to be with Jack, the man she thought she could trust and love. How did things go so wrong? What brought Ashley to this heartbreaking moment? As the truth came out, it revealed a disturbing story of love, control, and obsession. Ashley Wadsworth, born on July 25, 2002, in Vernon, British Columbia, Canada, grew up as the younger daughter of Kenneth and Christy. She shared her childhood with her older sister, Haley, in a large and tightly knit family of over 50 relatives, all residing within the same community. After her parents' divorce, her father remarried and had two more children, Crystal and Brandon. Despite these changes, Ashley's connection to her family remained strong, especially with her niece, Paisley, Haley's daughter, whom she cherished deeply. Ashley was known for her vibrant personality. She was outgoing, friendly, and widely loved by friends and family alike. She enjoyed outdoor activities like swimming, horseback riding, and skiing, while also participating in tennis and playing the clarinet. Additionally, she was active on social media, where she frequently shared memes, jokes, and pictures. It was through these platforms that she met Jack Seppel, a boy from Essex, England. Their virtual friendship began in 2015 when Ashley was 12 and Jack was 15. Jack, born on January 9, 1999, had a complex family background. He lived with his mother, Tracy Dalton, and stepfather Ricky, while his relationship with his late father was strained. Jack's family ties were minimal, as he didn't have contact with his brother Jordan, though he remained close to his sister Nadia. Known for his charming yet troubled personality, Jack was described as both humorous and unpredictable. His challenges at school and occasional aggressive behavior were noted by acquaintances. Ashley and Jack were introduced by a mutual friend online. Despite the distance, they quickly bonded over shared interests and spent hours chatting. Using her family's computer, Ashley kept the friendship open to her relatives who were aware of their connection. Over time, their relationship evolved, transitioning from text-based chats to video calls. Jack became a familiar presence in Ashley's life, often sending her gifts, including clothes, teddy bears, and money. Their bond deepened, but Jack's obsessive behavior raised concerns among Ashley's loved ones. During arguments, Ashley would block him, only for Jack to find ways to contact her through new accounts or mutual friends. In one instance, Jack tattooed Ashley's name on his arm, an act her parents deemed excessive. His jealousy and controlling tendencies surfaced as he monitored Ashley's interactions with others, despite maintaining his own relationships with different girls. Ashley, however, remained captivated by Jack. By 2018, at the age of 16, she expressed a desire to meet him in person. Her family, wary of her safety, did not allow her to travel alone overseas. Despite frequent fights and Jack's troubling actions, the pair continued to reconcile. As Ashley entered her late teens, she began saving money from her jobs at fast food restaurants and department stores. Her dream of meeting Jack grew stronger, and with her new financial independence, she purchased a tablet to maintain her privacy online. By November 12, 2021, Ashley, now 19, decided to fulfill her long-held dream. She traveled to the United Kingdom on a 6-month tourist visa to meet Jack for the first time and celebrate her birthday with him. It was her first international trip, marking a milestone in her life. Despite concerns from her family and friends, Ashley's determination and excitement defined her bold choice to embark on this journey. According to those close to her, Ashley traveled to the United Kingdom with hopes of exploring the possibility of living with Jack and perhaps continuing her education there. The two met in person for the first time on November 13, 2021, at London Gatwick Airport. Excited about the encounter, Ashley updated her profile picture that same day to one featuring the pair together. At 22 years old, Jack looked significantly older than Ashley, who was a cheerful and youthful 19. His heavily tattooed appearance, including ink on his face, starkly contrasted with her light-hearted demeanor. Ashley stayed with Jack in his home during her visit. He lived alone in a small apartment within a public housing complex in northwest Chelmsford. While the area had a questionable reputation, the couple spent time exploring more pleasant parts of the city. Initially, Jack appeared to be the loving and attentive partner Ashley had known online. He showered her with compliments and happily posed for romantic selfies. However, he also displayed volatility, which occasionally escalated into cruel behavior. During their time together, Ashley and Jack were inseparable. Since she was on a tourist visa, Ashley couldn't work, and Jack, who was unemployed, relied on social assistance and occasional help from his mother, Tracy, who lived nearby. Ashley frequently updated her social media with photos and cheerful captions, showing the couple enjoying their time together. They even adopted a puppy named Winston, adding another layer of apparent happiness to their life. However, as weeks passed, Jack's behavior began to shift. He became reclusive, preferring to stay home smoking cannabis and playing video games rather than going out. This left Ashley, an outdoor enthusiast, feeling confined. Jack's controlling tendencies also grew. He discouraged her from speaking to neighbors and restricted her activities. Before her trip, Ashley had been put in touch with American missionaries by a friend from her church. Despite her interest in meeting them, Jack forbade her from attending church services. Determined, Ashley maintained secret contact with the missionaries through text messages, deleting conversations to keep them hidden. The missionaries quickly noticed Jack's controlling and possibly abusive behavior. When Ashley confided in them, she admitted knowing she deserved better, but claimed her main goal was to make Jack happy. The abuse extended beyond emotional control. About 6 weeks after Ashley's arrival, Jack texted his mother, admitting he had struck Ashley in a jealous rage after discovering that she had blocked 2 British numbers years earlier. Publicly, Ashley continued to present a picture of happiness online, but she secretly documented her bruises on a private account. She confided in her sister Haley, but threatened to cut ties if Haley told their mother, fearing her family would despise Jack. In late December 2021, Jack attempted suicide by overdosing on anxiety medication. Ashley called an ambulance, and he was treated at the hospital. Following this incident, Ashley was designated as Jack's caregiver, tasked with safely administering his medication using a lockbox provided by a nurse. Haley accidentally revealed the situation to their mother, who pleaded with Ashley to return home. Ashley, however, insisted that Jack would improve. In early January 2022, another violent incident occurred. Jack smashed a beer glass over Ashley's head. Distraught, Ashley video-called Haley while Jack forced her to clean up the broken glass. In the background, Haley could see Jack pacing and shouting. Despite her sister's desperate pleas to leave, Ashley stayed. On January 9th, Jack celebrated his 23rd birthday as though nothing had happened, surrounded by family and Ashley. Soon after, Jack's mother and stepfather organized a family trip to Rye, a quiet coastal town, hoping the change of scenery might ease tensions after Jack's suicide attempt. Photos from the trip painted a picture of harmony, offering a false sense of reassurance to Ashley's parents, who were unaware of the full extent of the abuse. Yet, this fleeting peace did not last. By late January, Jack's temper flared again. During another argument, he physically assaulted Ashley, throwing a candle and a television remote at her while she was on a video call with Haley. Once again, Haley begged Ashley to come home. Initially, Ashley agreed but soon changed her mind, holding on to the belief that somewhere inside Jack's violent persona was the charming boy she had known for so many years. Ashley prayed that time, medication, or her love could heal Jack. Based on conversations with her mother, it seemed Jack had some awareness of the toxic cycle he had created. He would accuse Ashley of disloyalty, lash out at her, and later apologize profusely. Despite his occasional guilt, it wasn't enough to prevent the devastating events that were about to unfold. On the morning of February 1st, 2022, Jack became enraged again, accusing Ashley of sneaking off to meet others behind his back. He demanded access to her phone and social media accounts. Around 8 a.m., one of Jack's neighbors heard Ashley screaming through the shared wall. Moments later, Ashley appeared at her door, barefoot, crying, and bleeding from a cut on her hand. She explained that Jack had flown into a rage after finding a photo of a naked woman on her phone, assuming it was someone she knew. He had verbally abused her, smashed her phone, and thrown their puppy, Winston, against the wall. Despite fearing for her life, Ashley begged her neighbor not to call the police. The neighbor reluctantly agreed but urged Ashley to accompany her to a medical appointment to avoid returning to Jack's apartment. Ashley refused, so the neighbor decided to confront Jack directly. He apologized for his actions and appeared calm, convincing the neighbor to leave for her appointment. Around 9 a.m., another neighbor, Lucy, brought Jack a package that had been misdelivered. Jack barely opened the door, which Lucy found odd, but dismissed as typical of his standoffish behavior. Meanwhile, Ashley called her family from Jack's phone. It was midnight in Vernon. By this time, Ashley's mother had learned about Jack's abuse after Haley could no longer keep it a secret. Her family immediately booked her a return flight for February 3rd. Ashley told Jack she was leaving in 2 days, and he reluctantly agreed to take her for a COVID test and drive her to the airport. Ashley's mother warned her to go directly to the airport if Jack became violent again, and she warned Jack that she would involve the police if Ashley was hurt. While Ashley's family prepared for her return, Haley reached out to Jack's mother, but she was about to leave for a trip and unable to intervene. Before ending the call, Jack's mother expressed her fear that Jack might harm himself once Ashley left. Ashley's call with her family lasted about 3 hours. When it ended, it was 11 a.m. in Chelmsford and 3 a.m. in Vernon. Minutes later, Jack messaged his mother, confessing that he had attacked Ashley again, throwing her to the ground and potentially fracturing her arm. His mother did not respond. Between 11:22 a.m. and 12:38 p.m., Ashley sent several messages to her family and friends back in Vernon using Jack's phone. Unfortunately, due to the time difference, no one replied. She also messaged her church friends in Chelmsford, pleading for help and stating it was an emergency. Tragically, these messages did not send until hours later, when it was too late. Sometime between 12:38 and 12:45 p.m., Jack strangled Ashley until she stopped breathing. He then retrieved a knife from the kitchen and stabbed her over 90 times in the chest and abdomen. After killing Ashley in such a brutal manner, Jack carried on with his day, even playing video games. He changed his profile picture to one of him and Ashley, captioned "Always Mine." He also recorded a video message addressed to Haley, in which he expressed love for Ashley and apologized, claiming he couldn't let her go and that his mind wasn't functioning properly. In the video, Ashley's lifeless body was visible beside him. Jack never sent the video but inflicted superficial wounds on his chest, likely to fabricate a self-defense narrative. Meanwhile, Ashley's family woke up in Vernon to find a series of desperate messages from her. Concerned, they contacted a friend of Ashley's in Chelmsford. He went to Jack's apartment. After receiving no response at the door, he called the police and left. It was around 4 p.m. At the same time, Ashley's best friend in Vernon noticed her social media account was active and messaged her in panic. However, it was Jack who responded, pretending to be Ashley. He claimed she no longer needed help, as everything was fine. Jack ignored subsequent messages from Ashley's family and friends, who were growing increasingly frantic. Finally, Jack called his sister Nadia and confessed to killing Ashley. He even showed her Ashley's body during the call. At 4:13 p.m., the police entered Jack's apartment, responding to the earlier call from Ashley's friend. What they found inside was the horrific culmination of a tragic and abusive relationship. Across the globe in Vernon, Ashley's family was frantically trying to contact her. After reading her desperate messages for help and receiving no further response, Haley was convinced the worst had happened. In tears, she called her father and told him she was certain Jack had taken Ashley's life. Kenneth contacted Canadian authorities, expressing grave concern for his daughter's safety in England. Shortly after, he received the devastating confirmation from British authorities. Ashley had been killed. Jack was arrested on the spot, covered in blood, and confessed to the crime, claiming he had experienced a psychotic episode. He was sent to Chelmsford Prison while awaiting trial, scheduled for September 7, 2022, at the Chelmsford Crown Court. Toxicology reports showed that Jack had traces of cannabis and therapeutic levels of his anti-anxiety medication in his system at the time of the crime. Psychiatric evaluations deemed him fit to stand trial. The evidence against Jack was overwhelming, including a video he recorded admitting to the crime. Jack pleaded guilty, and the judge informed him that there was only one possible sentence for his actions: life imprisonment. He was remanded in custody until his sentencing hearing, set for October 10th, to allow Ashley's family to attend virtually. However, her parents chose to travel to Essex to be present in person. During the hearing, the prosecutor detailed Jack's criminal history, shocking Ashley's parents as they learned the truth about the man who had taken their daughter's life. Jack's criminal record dated back to 2014 when, at age 15, he took explicit photos of a girl he had met online. After the girl ended their relationship, Jack hacked her social media accounts and published the images, leading to a restraining order. Just a month later, Jack violated the order by continuing to contact her online. In the same year, Jack physically assaulted his mother during an argument about his Xbox, pushing her to the floor and tearing a door off its hinges. By March, he had breached the restraining order again, sending the victim another social media request. When the order expired in 2017, Jack contacted the girl within 6 minutes, using similar coercive tactics as he later used with Ashley. In one message, he told her she could never get rid of him, even if it meant he went to prison. In 2018, Jack's behavior escalated. He served time in a juvenile detention center after cutting his arm and damaging a door when his mother called paramedics. A restraining order was issued to protect his mother, but Jack breached it later that year. In September, he broke into an assisted living facility and received a 21-day prison sentence. By 2020, Jack was accused of false imprisonment, assault, and coercive behavior after locking a woman in his home. Although charges were dropped due to the victim's absence at trial, a restraining order was imposed. Later that year, Another relationship ended when Jack became violent and controlling, choking the woman and locking her in his home. She managed to escape, but no charges were filed. Ashley's parents were horrified to learn of Jack's violent past. During the sentencing hearing, the court reviewed a letter Jack had written to Ashley's family from prison, expressing remorse. In the letter, addressed to Ashley's mother and Haley, Jack acknowledged that nothing he said or did could bring Ashley back or ease their pain. He claimed his mental health had deteriorated, leading to intrusive thoughts that affected his actions, though he admitted this was no excuse. Considering Jack's extensive history of violence and his guilty plea, the judge sentenced him to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 23 years. Ashley's parents left the courtroom knowing justice had been served but carrying the weight of unimaginable loss. On October 12th, Ashley's parents, stepmother, a close friend, and Julie Taylor, a campaigner against knife violence who had lost her teenage grandson Liam to a stabbing, held a vigil in Ashley's honor. The group walked from Brownings Avenue to the location where Ashley had spent her final days. They laid wreaths and placed roses on the doorstep. Ashley's mother spent a quiet moment reflecting at the site, mourning her daughter's loss. Neighbors, some of whom had attended Jack's sentencing, came out to support the family. Ashley's remains were repatriated to Canada with the help of hundreds of donations raised through a crowdfunding campaign organized by her family. Her funeral was held on February 23, 2022. The ceremony was live-streamed, allowing more people to participate. Funds remaining after covering funeral costs were donated to a scholarship foundation and a domestic violence support organization. During the service, those who spoke remembered Ashley as a vibrant, adventurous soul with a deep love for nature and an infectious sense of humor. A year after the tragedy, Haley, Ashley's sister, shared in an interview that she believed Ashley sent them signs from above. The family noticed doors opening and closing on their own, and lights flickering without explanation. After the trial, Ashley's father raised concerns about the lack of accessible information about Jack's past. Despite searching his name online before Ashley's trip, the family found nothing alarming. He questioned when the right to privacy should be revoked for someone with a repeated history of violence. In the UK, there is a domestic abuse disclosure scheme known as Clare's Law, named after a victim who was killed by a partner with a history of stalking and threats. The law allows individuals to request information about a person's criminal past and grants police the authority to disclose such information proactively. However, the process can be slow, and disclosure is not guaranteed. Ashley's mother lamented not knowing about this policy, believing she could have submitted a request to British authorities before her daughter's trip. Domestic abuse is a global issue affecting women of all ages, social classes, and backgrounds. According to the UK organization Women's Aid, a woman in England and Wales is killed by a male partner or ex-partner every 4 days, on average. Despite the warning signs that emerged even during Ashley and Jack's virtual relationship, she chose to ignore them and travel to meet him. It's natural to wonder why someone like Ashley would overlook these red flags. Women's Aid explains that many victims remain in abusive relationships for a variety of reasons, often hoping that their partner's apologies and promises to change will hold true. Abuse often begins once a relationship is firmly established, making it difficult for the victim to leave. For Ashley, despite everything, she believed Jack had a good heart. Deep down, she thought her love could help him change. Tragically, by the time she realized she was wrong and decided to distance herself, it was too late. Thanks for tuning in to Unreal True Crime. If you're intrigued by mysteries from around the world, check out our new channel, Latin Crimes, where we dive into the gripping true crime stories of Latin America. Don't miss out. Subscribe now for more thrilling investigations.